And we're back, and we're going to say welcome to Rebelle, European category leader in luxury second-hand fashion and purely sustainable, which is interesting to hear more about. We have Cécile Wickmann with us, together with Alexander Eulenberg, and I will give you the opportunity to introduce yourselves and the company, and the floor is basically yours.
Thank you very much. And good morning and welcome everyone to the presentation of Rebelle, the first European mover in truly sustainable luxury commerce.
Yep.
To give you a short introduction about us as management team, it's Alexander and me, together with our CEO Max. Max and me, we founded the company back in 2013 together. Since then, I've used to be the former CEO, and then I got a little baby last year, and then we kind of switched roles, which you can do when you work together for such a long time. He's basically responsible for all operations now, and my focus is to communicate Rebelle to the outside world. And we have Alexander with us today, and he will present you some more insights, especially on KPIs and financials, being our CFO. To come back to our business model, it's a sustainable high-end fashion marketplace with a really circular, based on a truly circular model. And I'm very happy to be here today to present our ideas and how far we have come today to all of you. So talking about a sustainable fashion, I think we all know that sustainability drives more and more industries nowadays, and especially the fashion industry, as also historically this is one of the really dirtiest industry in the world, being responsible for almost 4% of global emissions, with a very clear path now for all countries in the industry to cut its emission by roughly 50%. And we came up with quite a simple approach and idea, saying that if we would all just wear our products double the amount of time, we would almost reach this goal. And this is the idea on which Rebelle is based. And we are very happy that today, especially in the last years, this trend has grown so much, and that we see that there's like a growing community, especially the younger generation, who also puts the idea of sustainability in their focus when making their purchasing decisions. Talking about the market, I think we could all picture the global primary market. Talking about the market for personal luxury goods, we are talking about a $400 billion global primary market, still with Europe being the largest before Asia and the US. Still strongly growing, but with the most interesting segment being the re-commerce segment, so to say the second-hand segment, with a CAGR of around 15 to 20% in the coming years. And when we focused on the luxury space, this was due to many reasons. First, because we know that there's, of course, obviously a very high demand for designer products. Talking about designers, I think all designer brands in fashion which would come to your mind are like also the ones which are like, let's say, our bread and butter business every day. So we're talking about Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Hermès, Gucci, etc. And these products just naturally keep up very, very high in value, so up to 80% most of the time. Then there is quite limited online competition, also because there is quite a challenge in handling these products in terms of authenticity, etc., etc. And there is also naturally a very high demand for such brands globally, which makes these basically the perfect brands for a re-commerce approach. So talking about the way we kind of approached this. This is our website, rebelle.com. We offer an online marketplace in 5 different languages with a clear focus on the European market. It's a pure play second-hand luxury fashion e-commerce model. It's really 100% digital, it's 100% circular, and we're talking about 100% second-hand products, which you find on our site. Currently focusing on unisex, but mainly women's and so female products, targeting the categories in fashion such as clothing, shoes, leather goods, accessory bags, etc. Jewelry, of course, watches also, ensuring for every single product, assuring product authenticity, quality, and the right price, and thus offering like really a high-end shopping experience. Currently, you would find around 200 to 250,000 products on our website, coming from all European countries, basically from private and from commercial sellers. But the model is like we really focus on the private individual, especially on the buy side, of course. What we've set up is a model really heavily based on tech components. Thus, it is really scalable. It's a capital light, pure play marketplace model, which means that we never become owner of the products, which has the big charm that we don't have returns. So like not normally. And what we do is like really looking to offer a concrete USP for sellers and for buyers on the other side. So how do we do that? For the sell side, obviously we have normally a private individual who is looking to sell their exclusive products, like not very time consuming and in a very easy manner, to give them advice on price and offer them like really an all-inclusive, comfortable selling service. We do this due to our unique price database, which is based on around about 1 million product data points, which we've built up over the last years, and also this is very unique in the market. For the buy side, on the other side, the USP clearly lies on the shopping experience and even more important, on the authenticity. We create this superior shopping experience with guaranteed authenticity due to like an all-inclusive service which we are offering. So we basically handle every product on our desks before shipping it to the buyer. We assure the authenticity due to our unique authenticity database. Also, this is very unique in the market. We call it the secret Rebelle brand book. We built this up over the last years, and this is basically like a very, very secure way on shopping secondhand designer products. Talking about our positioning in the market, as I said, like we really focus on the very, very high-end segment due to many reasons, not only to avoid this very crowded space, but also to really offer the experience which we think you should have as a consumer in the consignment space if you buy products for several hundreds and very often for several thousands of euros. By doing this, we feel that it really goes hand in hand, offering luxury products, but also, of course, offering the best customer service. And looking into the space in Europe, there's like many competitors out there, but having a little bit of a different approach. Most of them are being focused on the mass market. Yeah, to wrap it up for now, I think it became clear what our business model is focused on. It's a capital light model. We have no working capital involved, which means we don't have returns. Most importantly, we have not everywhere products, so we are not in direct competition with Amazon, Zalando, eBay, etc. Alexander will tell you a little bit more about our KPIs. We are talking about very high shopping baskets, which makes it very interesting, and high commission rates, of course. So far, what we see is that the model itself created quite high barriers to entry, as what we build up really is a single SKU factory, and Alex will also tell you a little bit more on the operational side of the business. So I would leave it up to you.
Right, good morning from me. We only have a few minutes now. Of course, there's a lot of detail behind the company. On this slide, we just summarized what Cécile just mentioned. We always call it single SKU factory. By that, we mean that the specific challenge behind Rebelle is that every item is unique. We don't have a structured inventory like almost all other e-commerce companies. but for us, we get surprises every morning. We get totally unstructured products, and they have to be fed through a standardized process where we really have to ensure that every product goes its own journey. Some products need more care in the one step, and some other products need more care in the other step, and so on. We need to enrich the product data with prices, with photos, with content, and so on. It's a lot of stuff. And then once we sell the products, there's still a lot to do. It's still not a standardized e-commerce process, but we have to split the payment between the seller and Rebelle. This is actually, to be honest, in the beginning gave us quite a nightmare because it's so specific, this challenge to create this journey for each product through in a standardized factory-like process. But nowadays, of course, it's kind of a blessing because we are we are really the only player in Europe of true scale that can deliver this experience. All our competitors are focusing much more on the peer-to-peer business model, whilst we really touch, feel, inspect, quality-proof, authenticity-proof every single product. And if you can put up the slide in large again, that would be great, because on the right-hand side, you can see the outcome of this effort, that we do have the best customer satisfaction in the industry. All customer surveys that we're seeing showing that our customers are very happy with our experience. And that is, of course, because we do touch and inspect every single item. So that's what makes us unique. And then just to dive into one specific aspect of this, and this is like a unique challenge that you have when you sell secondhand luxury goods, is that you have to ensure that they are genuine. Of course, there's a huge difference between real and fake Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and so on. And we just must ensure that we're not selling fakes. And for that, we have set up quite a big database where we know for all the major luxury brands, and that's like hundreds of them, but of course very much focused on the big French and Italian brands, where we have a database of the very specific authenticity features behind these brands. On the left-hand side of the slide, there just is some examples, but you can imagine it's a lot of nitty-gritty stuff. That's an expertise you cannot buy in the market because there's no use case for having this expertise unless you're running a company like Rebelle. And the great thing is that we're not only seeing happy customers, but we're also seeing very sticky customers. On the left-hand side, you see that it's a lot of value that we're trading for our customers, and there's a lot of value behind the customer relationship for us. On the left-hand side, you see the sellers. We have an average price of 220 euros per item for each item that is listed. And a typical seller lists almost 20 items in the first 3 years of the relationship. So we have on the sell side a value of 4,000 euro listing value that we're getting over the first 36 months of a seller relationship. So it's a lot of money, I think quite untypical in e-commerce that you're talking about such big values. And on the buy side, it's also quite interesting stats that give us good economics. We have an average shopping basket of 300 euros. We have an average of 3.4 items that are sold to a specific buyer over the first 3 years. So that means accumulated value of behind a buyer is about 1,000 euros. Again, quite a big number. So it really makes sense to acquire these customers because you know they come back and they leave a lot of money with us, which is of course nice. Now, since we have very limited time, just a very quick glance at our P&L. Here you can see from left to right that we go from top to bottom through the P&L. On the left-hand side, you see the development of our trading volume. Last year, we were at 24 million euros. And then you can see that this translates that we have quite a lot of operating leverage. So whenever we grow the business, we have quite a big impact on profitability, because we can optimize the factory and we get more and more cohorts of customers that are ordering with us, and we don't need additional marketing expense. So we have quite a nice EBIT development as we continue to grow the business. Next years, we want to accelerate that. And we have a very focused strategy of rolling out our company on a European basis much more aggressively than what we have done in the past. For that, we will invest into our tech platform. We will invest into our brand, and of course, just grow our marketing presence, because we know the business model works in all European countries. So it's definitely time to push harder on internationalizing the business. And then it's quite on top of the pyramid, quite an interesting possibility is that since we are one of the large players in this market, we can consolidate the market, and there are quite a few interesting but smaller Rebelle type companies in Europe, and we definitely see a lot of potential of taking these on board and switching them to our platform.
So yeah, to wrap it up, thank you very much, Alex, and thank you very much to all of you for listening. We are on our way, I would say, to really become the first European mover in sustainable luxury e-commerce, to really become a larger and larger foot into the door, and to really jump on a very interesting trend. Not saying again that we are like in a very, very huge attractive market. I think the business model also became clear, and also what I would say the big benefits of it are, to maybe repeat these, like we're talking about a mega trend, we are talking about a mega market, we are talking about a very sticky customer base, having built a sustainable factory, and to finish this with a very attractive portfolio which we have to offer. So very happy to be here today, and open for any kind of questions.
Excellent. Just presuming I'm back in picture. Sorry, I was busy shopping online here at some interesting German e-commerce site. Wow, okay, so sustainable, innovative, high-value checkouts, and rapid growth. Sounds like a recipe that might take you somewhere. So very interesting. We have received some questions, which we will ask the company. And let's see. So first one, considering the competitive landscape of re-commerce fashion, how do Rebelle differentiate from other secondhand luxury marketplaces? Good question.
Yeah, I think I basically touched base this a little bit during the presentation already. So what we do is really focusing on the luxury space. And this means on one hand that we are really focusing on a product portfolio which offers only the top tier international designer brands. And then secondly, hand in hand with this, to really offer the best customer service and experience, which means that we take care of everything, like all operations, if you want, so like including photos, descriptions, translations, but also product check, price check, authenticity check, etc. And this is already seen from the customer perspective as the top tier service, which they don't get if they buy at eBay or like others. So it's really it's a consignment approach, much rather than a peer-to-peer approach, which I think also Alex said is the one which most of the competitors are following.
Right, thank you very much. Using that competitive advantage, looking at the pandemic effects and looking on where the industry trends are going, and where do you expect this to emerge going forward? That would be the question, if I've understood it correct here.
So I would clearly say that in the last years, and especially also throughout the pandemic, we have all seen that there's a growing customer base which puts sustainability in the focus of their purchasing behavior. And of course, this also happens heavily in fashion. And if we look also at what all the big designer brands, but also the big retailers such as Zalando, and I think also in the last days, we have all seen probably the news of like Nike burning their returns. I think it became very clear that for many brands, it's not necessarily, let's say, natural to really follow a truly sustainable path. So what we offer is like really just by itself a sustainable model, as we don't need any kind of resources to produce the products. And we really just support the idea on like wearing products longer and give them a second or even a third life. So what we, I think, really have to offer is the answer to what's currently really growing, and this is the demand for sustainable fashion.
Right, thank you. And considering burning refunds and 4% emissions, it seems there's things to be made in this area. And looking into that, I mean, you are rapidly growing as we speak, but would you tell us more about the potential international organic growth, and if that includes, or not if it includes, and the inclusion of M&A?
Sure.
As you mentioned.
What we saw, like quite shortly after we founded Rebelle, when we founded it, it was like, basically it was a German company based in Germany, like with a German-speaking website, and we like very shortly after saw that there is a growing demand also from international countries. So we decided to really internationalize quite early in our startup life, I would say. Translate the website, but also made sure that we can offer the same service for all European countries. So to speak, like around about 70% of our trading volume are coming from what we call international orders, meaning that buyers and sellers are coming from different countries. And this is something we, of course, want to extend. We also have like international investors on board helping us doing this. We also identified very interesting European markets already. And what we also see is that there are some competitors out there who are something what we call local champions. They are not trading internationally at all, also because, of course, it makes things a little bit more complex and heavier. But what we have is a very scalable tech platform, and we know that there is a very, let's say, interesting way in onboard, well, like there would be an interesting way in onboard these companies to our platform, and thus also grow through M&A.
Perhaps just to add one sentence, we work with a single hub in whatever we do, and we can do that. We're based in Hamburg, and we ship throughout all of Europe from here, and we can do that quite easily and very nicely and very economically because our shopping baskets are so high. So it doesn't matter if we pay 5 or 10 euros for the shipping, and that makes it quite easy to scale the business internationally because we don't need any real local presence. We of course need to build our brand, and that always costs money. But in terms of operations, it's very easy to just switch on other countries and you get going.
Excellent, thank you. And I guess being within the luxury segment, it's a global market, and as you say, high volume basket would be important. Last question that came in through email when you said our investors. Would you be able to go through the owners of the company?
Sure. We have quite a few interesting owners, but let me just give you 3 examples. We have 2 Danish family offices that are supporting us. The one is the company that the investment company of the owners of the Pandora brand, Pandora Jewelry, and the other one is a family office called Frieden Invest, which is Niels Martinsen, a very seasoned Nordic fashion entrepreneur. So that gives us a very good insights into the consumer business on an international scale. And then the third owner that I would just like to mention is Mediaset, is Italy's largest media company, big TV group. And for that, it's quite interesting to have them on board because in the long run, Italy is a very interesting market because, of course, half of our brands come from Italy, and Italian consumers just love these kind of products that we have many of.
All right. Thank you very much. We are at overtime, and I'm hearing people around here saying that I've used a lot of time. So I would like to say thank you very much to Alexander and Cécile. It's been great having you here, and we'll close down Hamburg, and we'll be back in just a bit with the Swedish clean tech company Forum. Thank you very much.